It rained for 3 weeks straight without stopping at all. And we had floods up to here. So we had to carry our bags above our heads to not be wet. And we couldn't get dry, like at all. And it was terrible. We dreamed about being dry. Bring sanitary needs for sisters because they don't have them out there. But don't bring as many clothes as you think you need to bring because they have clothes. They have little things that they'll I don't know, other countries will send them lots of clothes and they're super cheap. And so you can just find clothes there. Or sister missionaries will leave their clothes when they leave for their mission. Don't pack as heavy coming into the mission as you think you need to. Monkeys, actually. Not as often as people made me think it would be, but several of my areas had monkeys that lived in trees. And they would throw things at you. Love above everything else. I learned that loving the sinner, but not the sin. I learned how to do that better because you have to love the people beyond the frustrations of them not coming to church or not keeping commitments, because it's the person that we're there to teach, not the number of baptisms. It's hard because it's a tonal language, and so some of the words like wala means left, but wala means no. It sounds the same, but it's different. So yeah, I just used a lot of words incorrectly, which would make people laugh at me all the time. I thought I was going to get murdered several times, but one time in particular, we were in a weird part of town, and there was this member that I was not warned about who had some mental issues, who loved to threaten to kill you all the time. She would just threaten, I'm going to kill you. And she had these crazy eyes, and she wouldn't let go of my arm. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. And then she tried to separate me from my companion. And it was my trainer. I was 3 weeks in the mission. And I was like, Heavenly Father, I do not want these experiences. I'm perfectly fine without it. So, yeah. Thought I was going to die, but I didn't. So I'm alive. There's so many. It's hard to choose. But companion, loving your companion, is important. You can have I had a lot of spiritual experiences with one of my companions, and she was the one that was hardest to love in the beginning, but ended up being the one that I progressed with the most. And so personal study and companionship study are very good for those. Wear Crocs. The Crocs has this shoe that is waterproof, and it's awesome. Other mission prep advice, go walking, especially if you're going to a foreign country. We had to walk 6 or 7 miles a day, and that's sometimes on the low aspect of how many miles we had to walk. So get physically prepared, and also expect to not know anything, because preparing for your mission is, we feel if we had to read all this, or we have to read the whole Book of Mormon, and then we'll be ready. You're never ready. So just prepare to be unprepared. Be careful of stalkers, especially American sister missionaries, white sister missionaries, I should say, because always have your hair up. They'll pull your hair, or you'll get lice or whatever. Have your hair up and just be loving and compassionate, but not vulnerable. Act tough, because they're kind of rough. One time with the floods, the flood was up to here. And so we were walking, and my companion was like, Sister, look behind you. And when I looked behind me, there was a little kid walking, but he was covered up to here in water. And so I didn't see him. And so when I turned, I saw him as I was turning, and I ended up falling completely in the water. And I was soaking wet. So yeah, we had lots of weird experiences with the rain and stuff, but it was fun. We had one investigator who was trying to tell us that she was trying to speak English. She was trying to tell us that she was tired, but in hearing and speaking English, it was very difficult for her to remember. So she was like, Sister, I'm so hard. And I was like, what? And she was like, I'm so hard. And she just kept saying it in English. And I was like, Sister, just say it in Ilongo, I don't understand you. And she was like, I'm so tired. And I was like, oh, it's hard to explain because I'm trying, in my head, it's a different language. Anyways, yeah, so Filipino speaking English was funny because they always did it wrong. And so it was cute, but we always had to be careful of how we reacted, because sometimes if you laugh at them, they get upset. So you'll be Sister, the word is hard, or tired, or hard means this. So yeah. That was funny.